Richest Roots drink works for menstrual cramps and pain, migraines, fatigue, stress and tiredness, sinusitis, builds immune defense, bloating, enhances male bedroom prowess, and Richest Sorrel Roots drink works against all types of cancers and tumors, memory loss, high cholesterol, insomnia, nervous issues, flu, and many other illnesses. For your Richest Roots drink and Richest Sorrel Roots drink, contact us now via WhatsApp at 876-528-9534. Richest Roots drink and Richest Sorrel Roots drink. Richest, a true Jamaican experience.
Your style, your flavor, make the city rock. They must say the season come out with a bang. Coach Minzy, best round here. Remember that.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome. All right, people. So, first and foremost, I must apologize for the late start. You know the thing go. We had to, world best. The GOAT had her season opener today, so we had to be there. Hence the reason why we're late on this video. So, yeah, man, welcome everyone. Welcome to the persons on Facebook. Thanks very much for tuning in. I'm Coach Minzy, and this is the Coach's Desk. And as you can see the topic there, people, we're going to be having a little discussion on that same topic. So, welcome to everyone. Welcome one and all. Thanks very much for tuning in. Yeah, man, it has been an interesting weekend. Very interesting. Certainly I give thanks, But big things go on to the people. Shelly and the Fraser Prize open. She's the one I've been talking about. Yeah, she opened the season, and it was a good season opener. There's this youngster that is on the rise, Akeem Blake. He defeated Johan Blake. I could say his training partner. So yeah, a lot of things taking place. So we give thanks to know that everything work well, ends well. But the movement has to go on. Big up the formula. Big up formula. Big up yourself, formula. So we're gonna be talking about this topic, people. This topic, and everybody knows what it borders on. Yeah. Everybody knows what it borders on. But anyways, we have to talk about it. We have to talk about it. We have to touch this topic. This is serious. Serious thing, people. You know? You know what I mean? All right, so yeah, man, we know the crowd now go there tonight now because I start late. But big up on yourself, people. Just share the stream, people. Share the stream. Share the stream. Share the stream, people. Share the stream. All right, so let me see who they are. Ray Baba, big up yourself. The issue is everyone wants their friend, family, and combolos. A long time I hear that word there. My grandmother, the last person me hear. Or my mother said that, you know. Combolo. Please ask FIFA to start a national league where 50 or 100 player can play. Fresh God, big up yourself, Fresh God. Big up yourself. Joseph Brown, yeah man, the weekend has been good, you know. Shelly and Fraser Price open our season, so you know it has been good. MP, big up yourself. LT, big up yourself, LT. Kush, good night, coach. We have problem in our part of society. Jamaica has to be careful that society doesn't turn on them and then they can get a player to be signed overseas. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it as well. Chemo, big up yourself, Chemo. Jobless, big up yourself. KY, big up yourself. So we see people take time coming in. Really appreciate you being here. You know what I mean? So Lee Young, Medea, bless up everyone. All right, so you know, I did a little research, people. I did a little research. I have some friends in the small islands, you know, and I did a little research. Yeah, I did a little research because when I'm coming with information, and I always, you know what I mean? I always want to make sure that I'm not just talking out of turns. I always want to make sure that the information that I am coming with, this information is solid. Because you have man like Richard, you know, or Rich Paul, always seem to want to take on the thing about, you know, credibility and all of that. But um not into that. But it's just a part of me. Always trying to check out to see what is what, you know what I mean? So I link up some of my brethren, Leighton Steel, big up yourself. Jamaicans have a problem with accepting people who are different, even it's a small difference. Blessing coach and commentators. Big up yourself, Ian Campbell. And the phone line is opening up, people. And please remember to like the stream. Like the stream, people. Please remember to like the stream. Yeah? Please remember to like the stream. All right, so what I was gonna say, yeah man. So I did a little research. Seeing, I did a little research, and hold on, the people. All right, so as I said before, I have some people in hold on, see me, I get a call from Jobless, so I'll get back to that. Jobless, big up yourself. Welcome to the show.
Big up yourself, coach. We're
there, you know. I go and hold it down, you know.
go someone. Well, you know, the football thing sad, you know. You know, like we are gonna win.
You think so?
The problem, yeah, man. The problem is these man they don't care about winning nothing or anything. All they care about is to sell a player, and they might use the national team to do that. any cost. Even if we go to a World Cup, they're gonna do it. And trust me, it's a gonna fake way. Now put no more. Then they now hurt my feelings no more. Right? My lower my expectations.
What you say? Take them off of your radar.
Because yeah, man. The problem has nothing to do with no people who born overseas. They're not xenophobic or anything. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Is who they can able to sell to make a money. Because if a man born from Ireland and left when he was 14 and develop over there and come back with the they're not getting a game. Because they not make no money off of him. They never pick him. So they know what they're doing, man. And it's very sad, man. Trust me. It's very sad, my fellow. We just feel like the FIFA for us come in and cancel a program for 5 years and make everybody see what's going on. And then they restart it back on new president, new gen set, new everything. And we start back fresh. So if it's sometime in life, you know, go forward, we have to take up a step backward.
That's true. That is true. That is so true.
So sometimes the football program for us crash.
But you see,
and rebuild back up.
But you see, I think the coach is trying to do that, you know. And persons want victory. So it's gonna be difficult with the type of funds that we have, you know. The funds that we have are very hard to please.
They are organic.
So if
man, they are organic. Be a flip-flop too, man. The fans them flip-flop like crazy, man. Organist them, man. Them are not true fans. Organist them. So, call them the fans, call them organist.
So if you have a situation, jobless, where we have a new slate of people in the JFF, and the coach is trying to, you know, build a new thing. The people them still are gonna want victory, you know, them are gonna say the thing them are gonna saw what you call that again, the ranking shouldn't be that low and all of these things.
Yeah.
So you're going to be hearing these things from these people.
No, you're absolutely right. Our biggest problem is we have nothing impatient. We want everything ready, done right away. Right away. Nothing I go so. Nothing I go so. Rome never built in one day.
Exactly.
Rome never built in one day. And that's our biggest problem. No patience. Everybody wants things just done by the snap of your finger. Nothing can work. Nothing can work. So I know Jamaican people, no patient, man. Everybody want to get rich fast. Nobody don't want to work for nothing. That's Jamaican, man. Yeah, we know them, man. Everybody want to get rich fast. Yeah, man, I tell you. We don't know. It's like I just hope a storm pass through and blow away some people.
No,
and things just naturalize.
Hold on. A brain drain is saying the
salute. Football.
No, man. People, I don't think.
Sorry, go on.
I don't think he's saying to cancel the program. He's saying, it's basically what he's saying to tear it down and build it up.
Yeah, man. Exactly.
So he's not saying to cancel the program altogether. Get in some new people.
No, man. It has to tear down. Yeah, man. Tell them not misquote me. Tell them not misquote me. What brain drain I say?
Brain drain I said the solution is to cancel the program. You're serious? So, probably at that him thinking you say, you know?
Okay. Why if something go on FIFA investigate and see what's going on and sitting on are the government step in? If the government step in and get serious enough, we step in and cancel it. And we have to take a step back. And rebuild back again.
I don't think that I got.
But they're not that not happen. We know that, man. That not happen, man. That not happen. We know that not happen. As your brother Captain said, that will never happen.
Mm-hmm.
That will never happen, coach. Boy, I tell you, it's sad still. It's very sad. It's very sad. You know, as the problem. These guys is not them for me. Remember, we got a rugby team. We're based off a 95% a UK player. We got a
Mm-hmm.
hockey team, like 90% a Canadian and American player. It's not they're not xenophobic. So not make nobody fool you know. You understand? It's all about selling players. That's it. Bottom line, full stop. It's
Okay.
just to sell player. That's it. Yeah, man. That's it. They're not xenophobic, man. They know what they're doing. You understand? And it's just sad still. It's very sad what's going on. And they just blatant with it and they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. They don't care about the fans, you know? They don't care. Understand? Oh no, oh no, oh no, bloggers, revive back the program. Because nobody never talk about Reggae Boys.
No, so
Oh no, lift back the spirit of the fans, them,
I know Mr.
and,
Teddy
and,
Lee
and get them back.
Teddy Lee Teddy Lee did a video, talking about one time before the whole movement started, people used to be on the Reggae Boys forum. That's where they used to go and voice their concern. But now they can come on programs like this
Yeah.
and voice their concern. So
Really don't make it up.
yeah.
No, man, I tell you, I tell you, we don't forget a lot of credit and for the JFF, we go no credit your man. It come like a too ego man if you tell them one of the boys sorry I'm gonna move forward. It not gonna that not gonna happen. Bad cat. If you take out the line there for bad cat, that will never happen. If you go no credit for nothing, they not gonna do it. Whole heap of credit you don't forget for them for going and say boy, I want for the bloggers them program would have just die out and I want to revive back the whole fan base all over the globe.
I'm not gonna say that, man.
Yeah, man, a lot of respect for these. Nah, they're heartless, man. So heartless people we are dealing with, They care about who they fan. And none of them fit not play football. A lawyers and doctors them fit at home. None of them fit not play football. They might care about who the fan. That's what they can make. And it's sad for no say them and use our program to get rich or fight and them not care. If they want to hurt the fans' feelings, it's sad. It's very sad, man. Very sad. Very sad. And I tell you, the logo, we have a very good discussion last night. And I tell you, it's somebody from the GFF and make money off of the domain, Reggae Boys. Then buy the logo and the style, make it look like kind of GFF money. But them a collect all that money off it and the style. Why I tell you? Things sad. The thing's sad. Somebody won it in a Jamaica, won the domain. Reggae Boys, local.
That's a one different argument, because we learned some things last night. But I give somebody else a chance, Jobless, because somebody did a call. Ian Campbell did a call.
Yeah, man. That topic they use, man. We can't dive in. We can't divert to that topic. That topic they big, aren't we?
Yeah, man.
Big, aren't we, coach?
That one, big, I always still with a big topic.
A big topic.
All right, see, Ian a call back. But big up yourself, Jobless.
Yeah, man. Right, big up everybody in the comment section and I watch nothing cool.
All right. Ian Campbell, big up yourself. Welcome to the show. You're live.
Hello, good night.
Yeah, man. Good night. You're live on the.
Yeah, man, bless up, coach.
What's up?
Yes, coach, bless up.
Yeah, man.
Now listen, regarding this system of quota that is happening in our football, I think it's gonna change when the Antoine side is actually selected. Right? That's my solid belief. If it doesn't change, then we're in trouble. Because I've been doing my own research, and we don't have more than 8 local born players that would be adequate for a utility side at this time. to compete against the rest of the region, right? So if we see only 6 overseas born players for this U20 World Cup qualifiers, then something is grossly wrong with our football. Because unless we're gonna select some schoolboy players, right? But the fact is, we don't have the amount of players to make up a roster to take on the rest of the region. What say you on that?
I mean, boy, this thing is serious, and so you're saying, Ian, that if a team is selected with only 6 overseas base players, we're gonna be in trouble?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, you're talking the U20, right?
Yes, definitely. Because listen, I've listened to persons speak from even within the JFF and even coaches, and consistently you hear particular names being mentioned, right? The Pearsons, the Zimmerneys, the Duncan Mackenzies, the Devante Campbells. These are names that you're hearing. Rochester, right? You're hearing these names floating consistently. Harrison is another one, I think. So there are not a lot of them out there, right? And we have to essentially know that. Oh, I'm sorry, Dujan Sterling as well. Is another one, right? But what I'm saying, Coach, we are going to compete against the Costa Rica, the Honduras, Mexico, USAs. These are players that are playing professional football, right? So in order to compete with them, we must be playing at the same level, right?
Like professional football.
Yeah, professional. Or even the JPL, because JPL is semi-professional, right? Even the JPL. What I'm saying, if you have players that cannot make their JPL first team, right? They're not coming off the bench, right? Technically, they're still schoolboys because the last time they would have played consistently was at the schoolboy level, right? So you can't take schoolboys and put them against professionals. You're gonna embarrass the young men, right? You're gonna probably break their confidence in some cases, right? Because these are boys, the ones from say Mexico or the US, they are competing against professionals day in, day out. They are in a professional environment, right? So we have to be very mindful and very careful. So this is the icebreaker, I think, for the Jamaican men national team, right? If we only see 6 foreign-born players, right, something is wrong with our football. Serious wrong with football, right? Honestly, don't you think so?
Yeah, Mom, I think it is going on a trajectory that it's not a good one. It will bring divide. It will continue to be conflicting and all of these things. You know,
but Coach,
it's something that needs to be sorted out.
Coach, I honestly think that good sense will prevail because the JFF, they are being monitored, they're being watched, right? Because what's happening in our football is known, right? It's not a secret, right? And we're gonna have a scenario that if they do not pick certain players, trouble will come. trouble will come, believe me.
So you're saying that going forward, Ian, if there's only
This time
only
around,
well, yeah, let me ask,
time
a
around,
question. You're saying that going forward,
tell me.
if the team is selected with only 6 players from overseas, it will be very bad for the JFF because they are going to be in problems. That's what you're saying?
I am saying this time around, this particular squad, this one. I can't talk about squads in the future. What if going forward you have some wonderful talents locally that are destroying the JPL, and some of them are even playing overseas. They're all local born. So I can't say that. I'm talking about this time around. This particular squad. Because bear it in mind, when you become a Jamaican citizen, you deserve equal opportunity, right? There are going to be players, right, that will be selectable, yeah? If they are not selected, we will see a problem, right? Because if you're going to pick a schoolboy over a Premier League player, right? Or somebody playing in Premier League 2, or somebody who is starting in a championship team, right? I'm gonna put a schoolboy over them, and they are also Jamaican citizens, and they made themselves available. You are opening a box of problems, right? So this is a scenario that has unfolding currently. But I strongly believe that this time around, the powers that be will do the correct thing. Because it will be...
So like you know something we don't know, Ian.
Well, you know I work behind the scenes, coach.
Yeah, man.
Right? You know I work behind the scenes. Right? I work behind the scenes. Right? I don't come and brag about what I do, but I do a lot of work behind the scenes. Right? But this time around, coach, I don't think they'll be able to explain their selection, because it will be termed as discrimination. Right? Because bear in mind, we know the persons who are playing consistently in the JPL, right? They have the age group. Yes, we know those players. I know about Whisper, who's a special talent, right? But you're going to have players that warrant selection. Even players from the USL that start for their team. Again, the USL is I think, marginally higher level than the JPL. But if you're starting the USL, right, as a teenager, and you are performing and you don't get selected, and a schoolboy gets picked over you, something is wrong with that, right? I'm just saying, right? So those who have the power, they should do the right thing for Jamaican football. Because, as I said, this time around, if they have a quota system this time around, it shall be deemed discrimination. Because when they pick their team, you'll have these boys being Jamaican citizens by then. Just saying. Anyway, coach, I'm gone.
So is that
Take care.
is it that
Enjoy.
That's a word of encouragement to whosoever will want to listen?
What do you mean?
No, man, what you're saying is it a word of encouragement that you're sending out? I just want to know.
Definitely, it's a word of encouragement. Of course, I'm
Okay.
encouraging them to do the right thing. And I strongly believe that the powers that exist will do the right thing, because already they have made an unprecedented move, right? So I am encouraged by what they're doing behind the scenes, right? And I strongly think that we'll see Jamaica probably selecting the best of the players this time around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only problem that we'll probably face is the preparation. The late preparation will be a challenge, of course. Right? That will be the major hurdle to face. Preparation time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because other teams are already in camp preparing, and we are still battling to pick our squad. So that will be a challenge for us. But I am hoping that the quality that we'll have will overcome the obstacles of preparation. That's my hope.
All right, Ian. Big up yourself, man.
All right, man. Cool. Take care.
Yeah, man. So, people, there you have it from Ian Campbell. I see we have a Kyle Wallace. Big up yourself, Kyle Wallace, on this super chat. In the coach's desk, the Reggae Boyz supporters club trust. All right, Kyle. Big up yourself. Respect the work you do. Keep the fire burning. All right, definitely. We will continue. I don't even know where to start with the comments right now, because when I send me the way back with the comment, let me see if I can go through some of them. Where was I? Let me see. Sean Bless. Only way to cure is it to win. No, man, if a team start, so you're gonna tell me, Sir Rob, if a team start win and we have the same administration, that the same issues are there, then we are gonna that's like band-aid effect, you know. I bet this guy complains about his food order taking too long. His exact words, cancel it for 5 years. Oh, okay. Probably miss it. I know that me did here still. Mr. Primo, big up yourself. Yeah, man, long time. Can't happen because FIFA won't let it happen. Yeah. Hockey team in Jamaica. A hockey bridget. Hey, coach, I'm on the passport no come back yet from Jupiter. Demani Ralph. Demani Ralph no stop play for Jamaica how long now? Demani Ralph. Demani Ralph is an agent now, I believe, Ricardo Baggio. Coach Jack steadily made a video because I said it was not a proud subscriber of his channel. Would love to know where Demar passport come from. Rob Smith, which program coach is this? Coach, big up yourself, Travis. In the coaches, there's Reggae Boyz supporters club trust. All right, so big up again. Oh, Demar Gray, better winger Mahrez or Luis Diaz. Fix the coaching, fix the league. Allow the league to stand on its own without the national team. It will take time, but yeah. Leighton Steele, big up. I would like to ask a question. What is the actual quota we are always talking about? Somebody answer that question for Rob Smith. So how do you buy players in the transfer window if you don't rate outside players? Is the quota 5, 6, 7, 10? Well, we know that there's Mr. Speeder told us that the quota for the youth team is 6. So I think that is, and that conversation really sparked the whole quota system argument, because and what transpired the last round when a number of players were selected and then a number of players were selected. You understand? So I don't know. But I know the quota system is coming from that conversation when Mr. Speed indicated that the youth team, there has to be a quota of 6 players. My opinion, big up yourself. Funny, I saw a Costa Rican guy in Butler show complain about the same thing. About the what? The quota, Rob? Don't understand why people believe you can bring the JFF to court for discrimination when who is the better player is subjective. Yeah. Rob Smith has some serious point. I'm still Yeah, man, I really think I talk about Rob Smith more, but seriously, make we talk about that question here, because Ian Campbell makes some points, and I'm not sure if he was alluding to something like this, that the JFF would be in problems because this argument is really, really, really an argument that on what basis, on what premise, unless you're gonna bring to the table statistics, and then persons will argue statistics because you have players that pad their statistics. Hey, Rob Smith, a big argument this, What y'all think? What do you all think about this conversation? Because, or this statement by Rob? Because it can't be nervous time, Brain Jane, for me. I know the champ. Champ was just toying. Sometimes these person get instruction. She probably got the instruction to do probably about 100, a 180 or a 150 thereabout. So you never know. But seriously, I don't understand why people believe they can bring the JFF to court for discrimination when who is the better player is subjective. Kyle, welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Good night
Yeah,
to
man.
you and your viewers.
Yeah, man. Bless up yourself.
Yeah, right. So the argument tonight is what about a quota system or for the next Nations Cup?
Well, you basically can discuss what you want to discuss, but the topic at hand is Jamaica the only country that have an issue with where a footballer is born?
I mean, everybody has that issue, but my thing is that people need to look at things in context. Every nation have their own context as to why they want to a player from overseas.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at it, it comes down to how developed their program is. The more developed your program is the less they need a player.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Look at England. I don't see England going all over the world to get players? No. Why? Because they have a developed system. That would apply for nations that are basically trying to develop their system. Look at Africa. You see Africa going for players in Europe who are of African descent, because they're still trying to bring their system up to date. But there's another question though about this quota system. Like I was saying in the last program, when do we um when do we insert it? Do we insert it at the youth level, the under 15, the under 17, the under 20, or the senior team? And the reason why I'm saying that is, when you look at the youth, and this is the problem that's going on with the GFF, is that they're trying to use the youth system as a developmental bridge to basically, feed the to bring them up into the senior team, or to basically give them that bridge so that they can be on a showcase, so that they can be transferred out of the island. So that is my whole issue with the quota system. When do we insert it? How do we find the balance? And how do we use it to our advantage? Now the question about discrimination comes up. Discrimination. I mean, to me, that's a bag of crack. And I will tell you why. I mean, if people keep saying that, for the Jamaicans in the parishes of England, America, and Canada, that if we don't call them up, we are discriminating against them. So aren't we discriminating against the locals who aren't given the opportunity to be developed? It's a double-edged sword. You see what I mean?
Yeah, hold
if,
on. It's a double-edged sword, Kyle. But in essence, all right. Say it's a double-edged sword, right? But should the national team on that side of the sword be used as a developmental tool for football?
Well,
or is it
I'm
clubs
glad you
that are
brought that up.
supposed to be doing that?
Right. I am glad you brought it up, because when you ask that question to all of your panelists, everybody says no. The national team should not be used as a developmental tool. Fine. That's all good to say, to have it on paper as the ideal thing that you would want. But the reality is what? It is being used as a developmental tool. That is our reality. That's why I keep telling people, when you talk about Jamaican football, talk about Jamaican football in context, not idealism, what you would want. The reality is we have been doing this from God knows how long, using the national team as a developmental tool to basically upgrade our players. Be it that we put them on show to be exported out of the island, or we use it to development to qualify us for various World Cups. Be it junior or the national, the senior World Cup team. But that's the reality. That's what we have. So we have to find out how we're going to use it within our cultural, economic reality to get the best out of it, until we are strong enough, like England, Germany, and France, that can reach that level. You know what I'm saying? We have to deal with our reality. We're not England, we're not Germany, we're not France. This is our reality. And that go back to the schoolboy system again. It is a recreational league. Let's just put that on the table. So the question I get now is, how is it being used? It's being used by clubs as a feeder system. It's being used by the national team to feed its youth teams. That is our reality. You know what I mean? Development is a continuum. It doesn't stop. It continues, and it starts from the youth. Where do we get them from? We get them from the high schools. We get them from the prep schools. Okay, so when people tell me that, we shouldn't be using the national teams, what is our reality? What is going on now? What are we doing? I mean that's where I stand on the whole issue. The quota system to me is a double-edged sword. The same card that people want to draw out, if we don't call XYZ, and like what Rob said, it is subjective.
Yeah, man,
It is subjective.
Yeah, and that is definitely understandable, because as Dwight is saying also, is that if we're gonna say that these players are being blocked, they have to have possession of the Jamaican citizenship certificate and passport in hand. So it can't be a case where they're being left out and they don't have these documentations.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of what you call it, murky water that goes in between that. You know what I mean? Because you're born in another parish overseas to a Jamaican mother or father. What basically entitles you to be on the national team. Is it because you're born? Are you good enough? Do you have the proper paperwork? It's all subjective. And the big spanner in all of that is what? We have to develop our local youths. And if we don't, you can also look at that as you're discriminating against the locals because you're not giving them a chance to be developed. I was listening to Cataract when I presented that point the last time, and him lick me down, talk about is not the club, is not the club's responsibility. And I'm sorry, it's not the GFF responsibility, and the club should go and do this XYZ. Listen, and let me make this clear. The only club that can develop a youth down there is Mount Pleasant. And they have a proper academy. They house players, they feed them, they educate them, and they bring them up to be footballers. No other club in Jamaica can do that. Okay? Now, that's a holistic approach. You're bringing up that youth to the point where if they don't make it in football, they have another trade. No other club in Jamaica can do that. In order for us to have that kind of system, we need at least 14 other Mount Pleasants in each parish. Okay? So we have to deal with our reality. This is where we are. We have to figure out how we're going to get the best out of it to get them, to get our youths going. I mean, that's just the reality. Simple as that. Discrimination goes both ways. So
yeah, man. All right, big up yourself.
I'll leave the floor. Yeah, man.
All right, big up yourself.
Take care.
All right, people. Here's my view on this thing now. And I think this can be used as a means of equity and a means to get rid of this whole thing, because meritocracy is very important, right? So whether it be senior, U23, U20, U17, U15, ensure that players are identified wherever. So if you talk about on the island, the 14 parishes on the island, extension to the diaspora, so you're going to go into the parish of England, the parish of Canada, the parish of US, Netherlands, Switzerland, and all these places. The issue that I have and I present is that there should be a case where, what is that? Every single person gets an equal opportunity. Why? Once the players, and that's why the selection system is I think it's a problem, and this is what I'm throwing out. If you have a U15 camp, to have equity, ensure you engage U15s all over, locally and abroad. U17, you engage them all over, home and abroad. U20, U23, senior team, engage all and sundry. Now, you see, when you bring them into a camp situation, and you go through training, and you have the coaches there, and you eliminate a player, nobody can say anything, you know. Well, people can still say things. But right there and then, I believe that the playing field will be level. So it will eliminate talks of quota system. It will eliminate talks of players are not being selected on merit. I think that's an easy way to solve this problem, you know. Easy way. Whenever you have, and personally, like I say, not everybody can come because of the leagues that they play in and whatever. You need to come. Let the coach see you a play in a theme system to see if you can manage it wherever you are from. So the argument is that if you have two players, one in the local league, one in a league one or a league two, persons are going to be saying that the one in league two is better, so it doesn't need to come to trial. Or they're going to be saying the league one player and the local player is at the same level. So it's easier to financially, it's easier to use the local player. But for equity to take place, why not bring in players in a camp and then you decide based on that? Rather than just say, two players, I'm going to be using you because you're local and you're the same level that the person is at. Everybody deserves a chance. So once it's open so that everybody gets a chance, then this thing will be thrown out the window. And that's what I would do. That's what I would do. All right, Stan Cranky. The issue is about meritocracy, and all citizens are offered the same rights and privilege regardless of where they are born. Yes. Hala Majid, our reality is that we have a workless federation. Oh boy. A Jamaican is a Jamaican. This reasoning is why we are not making it all the time to World Cup. I miss a lot here. Teddy Lee, big up yourself. Chudian as Jamaican. Blah, blah. Caller, good evening. You're live on the show.
Good night, Coach Des.
Yeah, man. Good night.
What's
your name and where you're calling from?
Listening in cyberspace. Kevin.
All right, Kevin.
You know that it's not. I've been listening to the program since evening, and I have a point to make. And it's not so much of the quota system, although that will tie in to where I'm getting. But we, the supporters of the Reggae Boyz and the football program overall, have always been saying that sponsorship is a poor point or a sore point for JFF, you know. But after going through some pamphlets recently in terms of marketing, I observed that Rudolph Speed is even a bigger idiot than I thought, you know. Because I say that because I'll get there, you know. Just give me some time to prove my point. If you are sponsoring a program, you want to sponsor a winning team, you know, and the ultimate goal of being a sponsor is to get a return on what you invest. By the mere fact that you are sponsoring an international team, the mere point would be to have an international platform to advertise your brand with that winning brand, you know. Now, if there's a quota system in the national team, it simply means that the team is poised for failure, you know.
So you'll be asking someone to invest in a failed product and asking that someone to throw their money down a dark hole, knowing that there will be no return on their investment. Now, I was watching your program a few months ago and I heard Rudolph Speed made that utterance that he'd rather exposing players for sale and exposing players overall for the clubs to be able to sell players than going to the World Cup. And that Jamaicans are behaving that they have the God-given right to be at a World Cup, you know. Now, shortly after that, they fired the marketing manager for the program, saying that she wasn't doing her job and they wasn't getting any sponsor. Now, any sponsor, prospective sponsor, listening an utterance like that would not give $1 towards the national program, you know, because they would be investing in what is planned to be a failed entity. Now, Rudolph's speech are losing position instead of the marketing manager, you know, because a mere utterance of that would have mean that the marketing manager job would be harder by 500% because of just what he had uttered. And it's not even a national platform, you know, it's an international platform, you know. Everybody sitting down and listening to this idiot. Because, and I said idiot, because he couldn't be smart and looking sponsorship for a program. And he said that he's a chartered accountant and a member of the whatever committee. Now, seriously, you know, coach, with an utterance like that, would you take your money and invest in the team since you are planning to marry your brand with a failed product?
If I would do that?
I am waiting to, yes, I am waiting to hear your answer. And if you would have, you're in corporate Jamaica. You're looking a team or a product to invest in. In this time now where you have COVID-19 and most economy contracting, there's less money to go around. Would you take your well-earned money and invest it in a product that is destined to be a failure since it's planned to be a failure?
No.
No, the Reggae Boyz are not at the top tier like the US and Mexico in CONCACAF, you know, so that they can play a weaker team and still qualify and give your product a chance that you'll be able to, that if they do get there, you'll have an international market to advertise your product, you know. The Reggae Boyz is at the back end in terms of strong teams, you know. And then this idiot is tying some concrete block on the team for to sink the team and still looking sponsorship. Make no sense. And that's all I have to say. Enjoy your say night.
All right, boss. Big up yourself. Come on, drop the mic. Anybody oppose the proposal when we make a while ago? Anybody oppose the proposal that I made a while ago? For equity, ensure players are identified wherever, bring them in, have a trial or training session. Who no cut it get cut. You understand? So who oppose that? Or who agree with that? Welcome the master. Man called Stan
Coach,
Cranky. Welcome,
Coach.
Stan Cranky.
Hey, Coach, can you hear me?
Yeah, man, we are here clear, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to connect my headphones. I apologize. So, me and Teddy Lee have a back and forth in the comment section because he makes some comment last night. We not forget.
Hold on. You want him come on the line too?
That would be good.
Teddy Lee, call in Teddy Lee. Call in. We are waiting for you for calling. Stan Cranky want clear the air. Remember, WhatsApp can allow many participants in it. So call Teddy Lee. So go and talk cranky until him calling. Cause I know him calling.
So the point, coach, is around national team be used as the venue, as the conduit, as the basis, as the source, whatever you want to call it, to give players exposure. Right? So
well on the cranky, and next thing we need to clear up. I don't agree.
Right.
I don't agree with the caller who call now and call Mr. Speedy there. I not agree with that. So more on that.
Mr. Speedy is not. We and I know Mr. Speedy is not.
Yeah, he's not an idiot.
Nobody in the JPEG is an idiot, frankly. They didn't achieve their position by not being smart. They may be parochial.
Yes.
But they're smart people.
Yeah, man, they're smart, man.
So
and smart is relative to, you know.
Well, there's degrees of intellect, right?
Right.
And it's very distributed. But here's the point, coach, which is this. So if I'm a citizen of a country, I'm a citizen of the US, I'm a citizen of England, the country has a constitution which clearly outline what privileges are afforded that person.
All right, Cranky, hold on. He might call Cranky, hold on.
Yeah.
I owe me add this again, I know. Jeez.
He probably said something about, they should tell you to add for this.
Teddy Lee.
Yeah, man.
Hold on, don't move. Me, I call back Crank. Hold on. How this a call again? Odd. Oh, Cranky number not saving this, you know. Hold on. Yeah, we do. Me I go hang up and add it and call back it to one. Here, hold on.
Yeah, you will call.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right.
Hold on, the people. We need to get back that call online because let me save Cranky name. Cranky, hold on. Let me I try add Teddy Lee now. Teddy Lee.
Isn't there a button that says add participant there?
Yeah, man. I call him and him for just answer now. All right, see him answer now. Him up on the line. So, people, Teddy Lee and Stan Cranky on the line. Since Stan Cranky called first, I make him point, and then Teddy Lee, you come in after. Go ahead, Cranky.
So my point is this: if you're a citizen of a country, the country normally have a constitution. The constitution outlines the rights and privileges of every citizen, regardless if they're born in that country or they were naturalized. They have the same right and privilege. What I'm hearing from people like Teddy Lee is that if you're locally born, you should have more privilege than someone who's naturalized. Well, you know what? Then the country shouldn't naturalize anyone, if that's the case. And should only have 4 privileges to the people who are born there. Because if you're not born there and you're naturalized, you have the same right as the person who's born there. And people of Jamaican lineage who qualify to become citizens and get it should be treated the same way as those who are born in Jamaica. You may not like it, but that's the constitution of the country. Second, Teddy Lee makes a few points and then some feedback, coach. I'm not sure why. One of those points is, well, how many countries you see go source under 15 players? So Teddy Lee hasn't studied history and migration patterns and the fact that Jamaica is one of those countries who sent a ton of people to England in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, subsequent to World War II. Those people have offspring, and not those offspring qualify for Jamaica. And that's the same thing with a lot of countries who don't have the same resources as developed countries and who migrate to those countries. Think about Mexico and the US, for example, where they have a tug of war now for talent as to those of Mexican descent, and they're fighting to bring them in as early as possible in their program. We're one of the few countries who are fighting to keep them out. Most countries, there's a war on talent, especially for athletes, and they're trying to bring in all the athletes in their country, regardless of who they have in their country today. So look at England, for example. For people of different lineage, England is trying to cap all of them to keep them local, taking part of their teams. We're the only one that's fighting that says keep them out. Most countries want to bring them in. And even people who had no affiliation with country. Think about Laporte, who plays for Man City and Spain. He's French, probably never even been in Spain, expect to visit. And because he qualified, they make sure he gets his citizenship and go play for a country that has a quality football team, quality football players, because he makes their team better. So when Ted Lee talk about, well, which country source under 15 players? Or you know what? Cataract says it's xenophobia to develop players, which is, he knows is not correct. It's inappropriate to say that because he knows that's what Cataract meant. And he's espousing that view in a public domain that is unfair to Cataract, and Teddy Lee knows better. So don't try to make arguments in a public domain to satisfy your argument, your perspective. So that's not fair. And I'm all about us as a people trying to come together, be conciliatory, be humble, be unifying, harmonize who we are, because we as a people fight amongst ourselves 24/7 about things sometimes that don't even matter. We just like to fight. Why aren't we all saying, you know what? It should be a meritocracy. If you're a citizen, that's how the country works unless we change it. If we can get the best players, let's try to go get the best players so we all can enjoy their performance and have good outcomes. Because what we all want to do as fans, if we're not playing, is to win. And I'm agnostic, meaning I don't really care who is playing, so long as they qualify and they can make me feel good about having good outcome, which is we win, we are proud, we get money for the program, which we can invest locally. Because I can tell you on a net basis, Jamaica probably benefit more with Pinnock playing for Jamaica than Pinnock staying where he is. I can bet you, given his contribution to Jamaica, what Jamaica gives to him, that we, on a net basis, probably benefit more. So I'm not sure what people like Teddy Lee and somebody named Ishmael in the program inferring something. It seems to suggesting that the national team should be a conduit, the basis we give exposure to the player. If they're good enough and they play and they get more exposure, I'm all fine with that. But it can't be the primary basis for them to get exposure. So I'll stop there. Teddy Lee, floor is yours.
Yeah, man. All right. So the main reason why this conversation or argument now just call it end because people like Cataract, people like Cranky and Cataract, them don't listen to them, won't go listen to themselves. So basically, our Cranky reason is like Teddy Lee Gray is against overseas-based players, etc., etc. Me, I one of the biggest Ravel Morris supporter. Me, I one of the biggest Ethan Pinnock supporter. So I think I'm pretty moderate on the issue. I think people like Cranky is very far left on the issue. So maybe that's why I'm reason certain way. All right. Edward Seago, to me, was one of the greatest Jamaican, in history. That man never, him don't born a Jamaica. But that man is a Jamaican to many people. The main, all right, we cannot call people as citizens and them not even have a passport. You know what I mean? And people like me even question the loyalty of some players. You know what I mean? Because if England, they call some of the players, them call them born in England. They might pick England them first choice. And no problem, I don't have any problem with players like that. Few people relinquish them citizens or whatsoever. You know what I mean? With under 15 level, we go to the youth level. I think people need to go to the 20 level under 17 World Cup and check every team and say if the under 17 teams did a lot of recruits from overseas in terms of check the USA squad, check other squad and see if them did a lot of recruiting. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is that the youngsters from 15 to 17, I think should be mostly Jamaican born players to at least try to develop and export. I take for example, under 17 player play for Jamaica or born in England did well. When U20 come up, that player though maybe a big star. And if that player decide to play for England or England U20, a lot of Jamaican here will be saying, so they use our under 17 program and he's not coming back. How would you feel, Cranky? That he play for us in the under 17, then he decide to play for England and them seeing at him. How would you feel or something like that? Am I xenophobic?
Teddy Lee, if your son was born in the US and they tell him saying can't play for the US, that's him natural. No, he wasn't born. He was born in Jamaica, you live in the US, you naturalized, you're a citizen, and them telling him can't play for the US because you know what?
I'm not saying can't play, man, for be best, like, oh, nobody not saying can't play.
But that's not what you just said. That's not what you just said. That's not what you just
You
said.
teams, what me just say?
You just basically said that the Jamaica, we shouldn't go over recruit over. What you basically said is this: if you're
under
English
50.
born, wait. If you're under 15, you're English born. I'm going to paraphrase you. You should be focused on the players who are local, because that's
under 15.
England, maybe wait. A player who's born in England may someday decide not to play for Jamaica, but he became a big star. What? How does that? I'm not understanding the logic. Which is somebody could run. There are Jamaicans who run for Jamaica, can't make the team, and they go run for another country. Because the country want to use them because they're good athletes, but they're good enough for Jamaica. People do that all the time. Totally, that can't be the basis. They're a citizen. Afford them the right to play if they want to play now. If they change their mind later, they change their mind later. The team may decide not to pick you as a player, even though you played for them before. What does that have to do with a slice of bread, Teddy B? And Teddy B, I'm not misquoting you. Everything you have said about under 15, Teddy B, you just said to the whole general public listening that I misquote you. I am quoting you. Go back in the chat, Teddy Lee, because maybe you're missing what you.
Yeah, the under 15 level, I believe that. Like, so let go to the situation. My son, 15-year-old.
But Teddy, back up. You just mentioned Edward Siaga. I don't want to get into politics, but the U.S. doesn't allow someone who is born outside the U.S. to be a president. That's their constitution. That's their laws of their land. That's how it works. You become a senator, can become someone in a congressperson. You can't be a president. Jamaica is different. All I'm saying, go with the laws of the land that you have.
No, but Jamaica can't be a politician, MP, with you have to relinquish a U.S. citizen. What I try to say, Edward Siaga,
no. You're saying Siaga was born overseas and he became a very good leader.
Yeah, and you relinquish him. Yeah, him couldn't be a senator overseas or.
You can't do that in the U.S. You cannot do that in the U.S. Relinquish or not, it doesn't matter. You can't be the president of the United States and you weren't born here. That's a fact.
Yeah, but he couldn't be a senator or something. It could have been something high office.
I'm just using your analogy. So here's the thing, Teddy Lee. You're saying if I'm a citizen, so say I'm cranky. I wasn't born in Jamaica. Take that out. Yeah, I wasn't born in Jamaica.
Yeah, so but you grew up in Jamaica and go to school. You grew up in Jamaica and go to school to Jamaica. So you are a Jamaican.
No. Teddy Lee, they can't be the criteria, Teddy Lee. I wasn't born.
Watch out, Edward Siaga wasn't born here, so nobody who said Edward Siaga is not a Jamaican.
Well, we can dispute that. We can debate that at another point in time, not today. We won't do that today. But I can say anybody who have done things that certain people do.
Yeah, that was color. Yeah, so Iman Barney and those stuff, you know.
No, not even the color.
Yeah, remember the Iman Barney and those things. Yeah.
But color. We're not that color thing. You're born in Jamaica, whether you're green, black, brown, you're Jamaican. And if you're born overseas of parents of Jamaican and you're green, black, brown, you're still Jamaican, Teddy Lee. Here's the thing, Teddy Lee. I'm talking about fairness. I'm talking about inclusion. I'm talking about equity. Treat people how you like to be treated, Teddy Lee. Be fair to them. So I have no problem with local players. The local team could have 23 local players. If the national team, if they're the best players, Teddy Lee. If they're the best players, could be 25 players. I don't care. What I care about is put the best team on the field that fits that coach's program. Not necessarily the best players, the best team that you think fits his program, regardless of those players. Because sometimes the best player doesn't make the best team. But I'm not going to disqualify someone who want to play for me because he's not locally developed or locally born.
Let me ask a question.
So, hold on. Before you come in, coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hold on. Before you come in. So a person like Boyz, shamanical, so we are based called the Weller.
Right.
And maybe we'll go for an English-based player like call a name, maybe a Wish player. Maybe two of them at the same level. No, a player that shamanical say on the same level. Which one you would give the priority in that situation? No, watch it. No, listen. All right, the two of them are the same level. Which one you would give the priority? The Jamaican born or the English born?
There is no priority. The coach pick who better fit his system. There's no priority to anyone.
Okay, so even if the two of them perform at the same level.
Hey, Teddy Lee, we have that same discussion in the US about diversity as it relates to people of African American descent or black people versus other people, right? That conversation is held in the boardroom 24/7 in the US in the corporate environment. what you're talking about in a different context was the same discussion, Teddy Lee. So Teddy Lee, here's the point. You're going to pick the player who bet out here, Teddy Lee, which team you know have players who have the same exact ability. And how does that coach make a choice? It's no different. How does Cavalier make a choice between Stan Kroenke and Teddy Lee if they have the same ability? Isn't that Speed going to make that choice based on anything who best?
No, one go through
at a point in
rougher
time?
circumstances. No, it's like a Shaman Nichols go through a rougher circumstances and still on the same level as the player.
Teddy Lee, you have a misconception because you're born in Jamaica. Your circumstances is worse than some of the bars.
No, in terms of playing on bad pitches. No. Ivan Toney never play on a bad pitch in the UK or something like that. Them thing they were talking about.
Toney could have grown up in some of them SC in England.
No, I'm talking
about
football.
Hold on.
No, Ivan Toney had better coaches and better, so I'm that.
So, hold on, Teddy Lee. Hold on, Cranky. Because how are you going to know that players are on the same level? Are we going to use statistics, eye tests, or whatever?
Everything, yeah.
That is not really. Well, I mean, I don't know this play up on the same level thing in a bridging. But Teddy Lee, what I really want to ask you,
so you can you can maybe say a person on the same level like one now. You could tell that, like,
but there's gonna be something unique about Teddy Lee and something unique about Cranky. Is that you better or you don't better? That's how me put it, to the extreme.
Oh, to the extreme, you're going to the extreme then.
Is that a better or you don't better?
Extreme, I look on. No, I look on the extreme still. I talk about two players them equal, wishing and choosing of the situation.
What you mean by equal?
Does that mean?
What you use to equate their equality?
Two of them maybe are playing at the same let's say two of them in the same championship in UK or Premier League. Two of them on the same amount of goal. Two of them similar everything.
No, but no, hold on. Hold on. Yeah. One of them are gonna come to the fore because even if they end up on the same level according to you, there's something about one of the players that you're gonna see that would impact what you would want as the coach. So,
and if
so one of them has scored 50 goals, but there's something about a man where you can jump, leap him, aerial duel. So you have to use, there's something that is going to be able to separate the players,
Suppose the coach decide to pick. Suppose the coach decide to pick the non-flashy player, people, and he's from maybe Jamaica. People say the reason why he was picked is because the coach is xenophobic,
No, the coach that's why my suggestion is that, and Mr. Carla say, what if you have more overseas Jamaicans coming for the trials than locals? How does that help development? Can the locals sue for discrimination? No, you can't sue for discrimination. It's subjected. What I'm saying is that when everybody come in to the lead, and the coach I go see him and run him training session and decide who him select, So that's why I say this thing will break down the barrier of the equality where you say, bring them in, train them, and then you select from that. Use your elimination process, whatever you use. So this are going to eliminate the fact that, all right, Teddy Lee better me, or me and Teddy Lee on the same level. Me playing a league when I am playing a JPL. We don't want that. Bring all of them together and then we decide based off the training session and what transpire. And remember, it's not only on the field of play or the person, the persona, the person, the whole. It's just the overall human being himself. So it's not only a footballing, physical.
Sometimes training sessions. Sometimes some people don't go to training session, but I'm good on them. So we could use together.
Listen to me. Assimilation. What you're doing at training, you can do it in a game. If you're not trained good, you can't play good.
Coach, I have a question. Teddy Lee.
Yeah.
How is that different from any football team in any country, in any situation? Don't you always have a situation where you prefer a player that the team you support versus another player because you think is better? In Arsenal, I think Pepe is better than Smith Rowe, but Pepe never gets a game. Somebody is making Smith Rowe is a better player. How is that? I think they have similar ability. I think Saka and Smith Rowe have similar ability. That is normal in any sporting environment. Would you pick Brianna Liston versus the Tina Clayton? Even though Tina achieved more, Liston seems like she has more potential. At some point, technically, the talent may be similar. You have to make a decision as a coach. It's no different for a football player, for a cricketer, for a track athlete, in terms of your relay team. So I don't understand the logic. Teddy, why is it far?
Hold on. All right.
Why is it far versus local versus the person's ability and who the coach wanted it?
Yeah, so here, by the way, people who are listening, this is not a Jamaican thing alone. Even America having this debate. Them have a thing what them call the MLS quota system. So we know when people say we are give Jamaica a bad name, right now them all discuss the courts and why.
Teddy, you guys don't confuse local leagues with national teams. So England is a quota system where you have to have 8 local developed players, and if you don't, you can only have 5 if you carry 22. And the elements have that. You guys are always confused.
Hold on, who gone? Jesus, please. Leader, we kick off the man them off for the call for leader.
We kick off, man. We kick off.
I can't tell the leader for sitting there. Hold on, people will explain that before leader start talk. Because we're on a WhatsApp call. Once the leader call directly, never use a WhatsApp. So once you call in directly, it's gonna remove the WhatsApp call. But quickly, leader, so we can get them back on, because them never finish.
Okay, I just wanted to throw it. Now I don't think it have anything to do with the actual discussion, but something that I just noticed. I don't know if anybody else has picked it up. The date for the match against Catalonia, it's the 25th, right? Okay, when does the Premier League officially have its last matches? About the 22nd, right? Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's the 22nd. Near the final set of matches. Okay? The championship, though, is a little bit before that, right? Unless the team is in the playoff. So what I can tell you out of this, I don't know how many players that we're going to have been invited from the Premier League, because one of the situations that's going to happen now, is that the players that might be wanted to invite from the Premier League would definitely, right? Because I don't know how many players will be playing on the 22nd if they're playing, and then be leaving to go play on the 25th. Right? Because some of them, as usual, might pull out or whatever, and we might end up in a situation where we're short. Right? Which would be another embarrassing situation like what happened in some other matches. So, why I say this, so put this out there for a topic, I think, for someday, that we might very well be looking at a mainly local squad again, because
No, I joke now. This is what they call them. Unless it's a leader credit done. The man kick off the man them off, I call, I know if he. Leader, I know the credit done, leader.
Yeah, man, I have to switch, from my thing provider, Anyway, as I say, we might be looking at a case where we might be having a local squad. Plus, the next problem is that the Waterhouse and Cavalier will have gone to the thing in the Dominican Republic. So a number of ballers from those teams might also not be available. So I just put all of this in the mix, that the date selected, whoever selected it, probably made an error when they were putting this date together. Guys, it's not bad going into the Nations League, but 2 days later might have been better. That's all. So it's something that will definitely come up. Anyway, peace.
All right, cool.
Yeah, man.
So here we are going to know. I'm going to drop the link. Hey, coaches, that's nice tonight. You that credit done. Do it. All you did a call, you know. I'm could cut off him on them. Here I'm going to do. I drop the link. The link drop. Who want come have a conversation? Have a conversation. Remember, people, this video is brought to you by Richos Roots Drink. Richos Sorrow the Roots Drink. Richos, a true Jamaican experience. Jairus, big of yourself. Boy. Hey. See the link out, people. Cranky, you can join. Oh boy. But you know, Teddy Lee, you know what I wanted to ask you, Teddy Lee, if you have a problem with the reggae girls. All right, Mr. Dwight plug in. Dwight, you have to turn on the camera, you know. Yeah, man. Cranky. Rolling cranky. Man. Let me see what message coming in. No, man. Even if you're not turning on the camera, to when I put you on the screen, I still need to see who is behind, because you know it's just a rule, Dwight. So you can turn it on in the waiting room. I can see to verify that are you, and then you can turn it off back. Just a simple rule, because you know say people can say them a Dwight Spence and then say, you understand? So on that premise. Caller, good evening, you're live. All right.
Yeah, what go on, coach? Hardy, man.
What go on, man?
Me there, man. You see.
What say you?
Me just a call him for just cause me here look thing well.
Do I see you here?
Me the leader come in look well and make the world know say boy maybe a pay local player. And one question more ask no coach.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Them are going to take the local player from here so go Europe. And yet still when the English player them are come over here, then no money no there for them, no money no there for them carry them out here. But money I got there for them carry every local player, so much local player from here so go over so. I just listen to something and I wonder what really I go. Yo, you see, brother, me say cause them thing are confusing, coach. Honestly. I don't know what really I go on in Jamaica football, but it really confusing, brother. Honestly. And the next thing but didn't know that this got me no coach. Honestly, I didn't know that I got me.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, because here you see them a play Catalonia. And to them intention is that boy will pass out go there. So local player, no matter if they get 10-0, they must get one local star out of it. If it's sell, you know. So that me as a coach, I don't understand them double standard there with the traveling thing neither.
Yeah.
Bless up, man. You go and listen.
All right, big up yourself. Hey, people, no one big point that. I want big point that still, you know. Hold on, let me see.
Good night, coach.
You do it. Big up yourself.
Yeah. Turn off the phone.
I will CC doing the bridget.
So, coach.
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
So, you proposed a good solution, right? Is that they need to set dates for when they're going to have trials or evaluations, and they need to make it known across the board so everybody knows, right? You can't have separate dates for, and it doesn't matter whether it's U15, U17, U20, U23. You have to announce it. You should make it a open thing and everybody knows when it is. The other point that they were saying is that, first of all, a player can't complain about, oh, we never got called up. If you don't have your Jamaican citizens, if you're born overseas and you don't have your citizenship certificate or your passport, you're not Jamaican. You qualify for it, but you're not Jamaican. So players need to make that first step in terms of getting that documentation lined up. If you're serious, it's just like if somebody wants to play for the England youth teams, the English youth system will tell you, make sure you get your English passport in your hand. That's just how that's going to work, right? So that's number one. The other thing is, they have to be clear with a trial date and what will happen. We are Jamaicans. The local Jamaican developers, they would raise their level and get better. They will raise their level. They will adjust and respond. What you're actually doing when you are not making these players, first of all, you're already creating team disunity when you have players who are trialing for 2 months and then you bring in players the last 3 weeks to supplement the squad. In terms of team building, the coaches, the selectors, the team managers, they're creating an issue right there, and that has been a problem over the past 20 years. If you continue to bring in the overseas players last, it will create a team chemistry and a team bonding issue right away.
You know, me, I'm struggling to hear, Dwight.
Can you hear me now?
No, I'm hearing you now, but it's low.
Let's see. My mic. I don't have a headphone on. I just have my regular microphone. But the key is that if you're going to build a team,
I hear a little better now.
The key is if you're going to build a team, you build a team. So you start building your team at the same time. Anytime you bring in any players late or last minute or towards the end, it's going to create a chemistry problem.
Right.
It doesn't matter where the players are born. And it doesn't matter the country that you're doing it. It always creates a chemistry issue. So whether that player was born, it could even be a case where that player was born in Jamaica, moved overseas, lived overseas for 5 or 6 years. Now he wants to come in. If you bring that player in at the end, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. So the key is to build a team early. So that's a lot of the aspect that's just team building skills 101. That is not a Jamaica issue. That's just team building 101. Don't bring in people late and then think you're going to have a nice harmony.
Right.
So
you're proposing that in order for the team to build a chemistry and go forward, they have to bring in the players early so that they can, train together and do all the work together that will basically get them to be ready.
Yes. Yeah. And if you're born in England, is it going to cost more? Yes. That's just if you're in Canada, is it going to cost more? Yes. But you're choosing to play for Jamaica, so there's a sacrifice. That's just what that comes down to. You have to pay. If you choose to live in Portmore or you choose to live in London, the London ticket gonna cost you more. That's just
a big point in bring up, man. A big point in bring up. The caller that called.
Yeah,
he's saying that if it's gonna be an all local team to play Catalonia, why was there an issue? To get the parish of England players to Jamaica, which quote unquote cost money, but now you're gonna pay for the locals to go all the way in
So this is a funny
in
thing.
Europe.
This is an ironic point. Anybody who knows travel industry and everything else, the players
Well,
can
well on
live.
the do it. The
Right.
do it. If you don't know if you had if I you had distract the people them. First of all, brain drain say you skip Zoom class because normally you put the light in front, not behind. Above or in front, not behind. So basically they are saying that they can't see you and just pure teeth them I say. So I don't know if you can make a little adjustment. If not, that's not a problem. I'm just suggesting that.
Big up, coach.
Yeah, man. Big up yourself.
Yeah, man. Big up the people in the comment section. Big up on yourself.
Oh, yeah, do it. That look a little bit better. Hold on. Go ahead. Dwight, you are you want to set up before? Prince, go ahead, Prince, until Dwight finish setup.
All right, coach. So, good night again, people. Zine? All right. So, basically, what me I say is that this thing is a national thing. You see me? So, therefore, it free to everybody we're eligible. You see, we should come and try to create any division which with where you're born and all kind of thing. No, it's a national level thing and it should be wide open to all nationals that are eligible. If you look across all sporting disciplines, you would realize that there is a lot of persons that would have been born in other country and all those disciplines are progressing. Even if you look at the female team, do you know how many members of the female team born outside of Jamaica? Yet the female team is progressing. I want to tell you something. You see, persons don't coach. Persons don't really care about where you're born. And that me really want. So you see when people are come try to create a division there, and we the locals are push that narratives. You know what people really care about? Winning.
Mm-hmm.
You see
But
me?
to be honest,
So you see,
question.
well on the CC. Say if you look over a female team, the female team and win, you see nobody a kill up themselves about
Where the
persons when
players
a born
them
at
born.
Jamaica. Them not care. All them know say them a win and them a get for watch Jamaica in a World Cup. And you see, this our person to understand. We can't boss everybody. This is not a comedy boss or a studio. You see? So if you look over a female team, if you look Bunny come up, remember say Bunny did a play in Jamaica, and then we see Bunny play and Bunny get boss. You see, if Jamaica was picking the best men team, a same way so we'd see an ex youth out of Jamaica boss and we'd probably a play uh a Manchester United or Liverpool. We can't boss everybody. You see me? If we are gonna pick a team coach, you know say we are gonna pick a team with some overseas players. Me know say the world team now gonna be overseas because we at least have one and two good players. Because if you look, you know say Andre Blake game now go away. You see me? So no matter how hard you are pick and no matter how much person you import from overseas, you always are gonna have players where born at Jamaica in a team. Always. You see me? I can't boss everybody. This is not a boss thing. You see me? This is about going out there and representing your country and representing your country well. This is about this is about the badge. This is not about you. This is not about your club. This is not about none of them thing there. This is about going there and representing your country. See, you can take a run now. Me I share the thing. Me have
Yeah,
money for
man.
say,
You
but
know,
me I share the
hear
thing.
me I say though, I
Mm-hmm.
think it is bigger than where you're born, right? Let's say if a man was born in America and he come here at 10 year old, he came to Jamaica at 10 and played for a club up to the age of 16, he might go get the chance to represent the team. You know why? Remember, we have to look on it like this, and I think I said it on a show previously, but Now I say it here. So remember when Rudolph Austin was sold? Basically, what happened was there was a million. It was sold for £1,015,000 to SK Brand before he went to Leeds. After that money, you know how many clubs got money from that money? The lion's share went to Portmore because that's where he signed his professional contract. That's who eventually sold him. But prior to that, the other clubs that involved in his development, there was a club named Chateau and a club named Morgan's Pass and another club. Not sure what that other club is. Those clubs got money from the proceeds of sale because of their involvement in the development of the player. So to me, it's not necessarily where a player is born, but where a player is developed, because it comes back down to money. Did you know that if, for example, CCFC developed a player, or a player played for CCFC up to the age of 16, the player got sold by the time they reached
Hold on,
19.
CC, advertise your club, your new club.
Like CC no better than a coach.
CC, yeah, advertise your club in under quiet, CC.
My club, nah, I don't have no club, man.
Go ahead.
My club. But I'm saying that if I develop a player and so have an hand in the development of a player by the age of 15, 16, then and the player left, right? When the player left and the player went to another established club, the player gets sold. When that player gets sold, I have to get some form of proceeds from the club. But imagine now that that player was developed overseas and I never got the opportunity. My club, when there was no development aspect from my club, but that player was developed overseas, came into the program, got the exposure. That player was now eventually sold. Not saying he's sold based because he was part of the program, but he got some form of exposure and was sold. Value was extremely high, so they sell him for 20 million. No club, or they would say the local fraternity, benefited from that player, the sale of that player. There was no proceeds that was funneled back into the system. Because if CCFC is no longer in existence, you know who gets that money? The federation. So basically, the federation and the clubs that are operating locally has an interest in wanting to see players out of the system going into the national program, because number one, a lot of these teams are unofficial. A lot of these teams are, remember what happened to Wadada in terms of getting into the Premier League? They could not play the playoff game because they did not meet the Premier League criteria and such. And a lot of these teams fold after a period of time. So I think even one of Austin clubs folded in terms of, I think Chateau FC was no longer even registered in the part where they could partake in the proceeds. So that proceed automatically went to the federation. And then you have a lot of other proceeds when a lot of other clubs. When a BB was sold, when a Harbourview might have gotten all of the money because Harbourview would have been his only club up to the point. Then if another player like a Fuller was sold and Teddy Johnson was sold and all these players. But the thing about it you have to look into then, it now becomes not where a man was born, because if a man born in England and him come here at 10-year-old and him play at Portmore or Harbourview or Cavaliers, him go make the side and nobody now gonna remember say, oh, he never born in Jamaica. Know what they will know? He was developed in Jamaica. So I'm saying that I said this to say and use the examples to say that it comes down to money. The more personnels them can get that are locally developed into the program, the more exposure those personnels can get, and the more buy them when they can get sold. Whether you want to get the actual lion's share, the transfer fee, or you get a portion of the fee via development, then
Alright, CC.
you're going to see that.
Me I come cross, And me I come cross the big belt, Me I tell you. CC, let me say this. You see, when you not talk about locally players and why them for in a team because I sell and invest in back.
Hold on.
Yeah, what you say?
Before you speak, I am
Yeah.
saying to you that is the reason. I'm not saying that is why them should not team. I'm saying to you that it is not a matter of where you're born. is the basis on which they are discriminating, or if there's discrimination being taken place.
Oh, say now really say that
Me not
right.
advocate
But
say
you
how
just
it is
point
right.
it out, say that
I
a
am
go on.
pointing
All
out
right.
what they are doing
All
in
right. So
my
me
from
not
my
gonna beat you
perspective.
on that, but me
But
I'll
but
beat the issue
CC,
same way.
well on the Prince. CC, that's a challenge sometime, you know. Yes, when you use you bring out a point, you have to be precise and don't leave persons to interpret what you say. So you
And
have to
through
go
that,
around and
let me
explain what you
just
say.
let me
You understand?
say, yeah.
But no man,
I
Prince did got talk before you, man.
Oh yeah,
Go
me
ahead,
not
Prince.
All right,
advocate for
yeah,
it,
man.
man.
All right, so all right, let me just bring out the bell
After
for beat
Prince,
the
we're gonna
issue.
have Dwight come back in.
Yeah, man. All right, so you see these little things where them a push that not make no sense. You see me? And that really a show me say them not a financial head because sponsors and money don't follow losers. You see? And you see if una go out there for go put out a team, say una a showcase baller, the only thing I go happen will always happen, una go participate. And and sponsors and money don't follow losers. You see me? So let me tell you this. You see, if we did put out the best team out there and we actually get somewhere, we would accumulate more money than actually putting out our local players. You see me? I already told you. I already tell you. We don't need 10, 16 local players in the team to make money. We only need about 5. You see me? You can imagine Jamaica going to World Cup and then we got World Cup and we are the good. No, the scout them see the 5 players. And the scout them are coming at the island for scout the 5 players. You see? And just by coming into the island and going to a game, they can see another players. That is how it works. But when you knock out in the CONCACAF qualifier, nobody now go scout no team we get knocked out and I get 5. Where America, whole of America dump them up and I get 6. Nobody has scout that. So when you now have the 16 players in there, nobody now scout them 16 players there. But you see, if you have the 6 players them and the team reach somewhere, them are go scout them 16 players there. So what? You rather the sink ship or you rather bust 6 man? Which one you rather?
No man, I know the sink ship or the ship sink.
Well, yeah, coach. All right, do I go on, Chu? I want to hear the guys now.
Prince,
What I
Prince,
want on the
Prince, we like how you chat. So let me make a point. The national team is not to be used to sell players. It will fail every time. And let's put some context on things. Rudolph Austin was sold in 2008. We are dealing with 2022 right now. Every game they're on YouTube. Every game in the JPL they're on YouTube. No player now hide. In 2022, no player now hide. In the national team, I'm not gonna bust you on the exposure. You already get exposed when them watch a 5 or 6 game on YouTube and your box man on the head and your elbow man on the head. Just because you play one good national team game, that now go cut it. So this thing about national team exposure, every JPL team have at least 5 matches over the past 2 or 3 months. They're on YouTube. So you don't need no national team for no exposure. That should be, as Prince said, if you're good enough and you can earn a spot, which Jamaicans are strong enough and will rise and will increase their level and their quality, they will look good. Period. Choose the players, and the players will respond. No, we shouldn't doubt ourselves. Respect.
All right. Coach, I'm just take up a point from the white this, you see me? We are share the pot, so I'm not hold on the pint too long. You
No,
know,
but
one of the things,
before you talk, Prince,
yeah.
Rashid Daly is saying stop promote the English player. They just born in England. Local youth, them just need an opportunity. Everybody needs an opportunity, right? And as we said, Rashid, the national team is not to give players opportunity. So if the coach is gonna bring somebody from England to play in the national team for an opportunity, we're not supporting that. If they are gonna bring somebody locally to play in the team and not because of meritocracy, we're not going to be supporting that. It is as simple as that. One Jamaica. That's what we are saying. Go ahead, Prince.
Definitely. All right. Let me see if I can draw out my thoughts. All right. All right. So, coach, basically, where the thing when me that think about when me I say, well, me that had pan your point earlier where that make. So, I definitely agree with the thing where you say we should get an influx of the players in, and then we have like a camp, and we can select the best set of players from that camp. So, what I feel like any player that wants to come to the tryout, they can come to the tryout. But at the same time, the coach should have, like, for example, in picking best 30
Hello?
players. Out of the options in picking best 30 players, then he move them on to the final camp. You see? And then like the other rest of players them him basically have a tryouts with them. Because as a person said earlier, not everybody are gonna pan them A game all the while. But you know these 30 players where you pick are the quality players where you consider quality. So pretty much you are safeguard these players. You see, but that don't mean say them get a spot on the team, but you are safeguard them. See? So them automatically get a pick to the training camp. Now you'd have pick about a 50-man training camp. Well, sure, we can't go over a 50-man camp. That over a 50-man camp I got too much. And plus a 30-man nice squad. No, so coach, 30-man nice squad. You see me? So therefore, out of the trial, we only have to pick 20 man out of the trials. And then when we have the 50-man training camp, we'll run it over for like 2 weeks, and then the best 30 will go with the best 30, and then the next 20 we thank them for coming and tell them to have a nice day and support the boys, and we move from there going forward. What do you think about that concept, coach?
Yeah, it can work on. It can work on. But probably more thought needs to be put to it. But that's something we can yeah, go forward and
But
work on.
more ask,
We have, hold on, CC. We have a call online. Caller, go ahead.
Yes, Coach Menzi. I like to say, those two gentlemen that you have on the panel right there,
Mm-hmm.
they made excellent points
Yeah, man.
about, about, just getting a winning team that basically keep on winning. So therefore, the world showcases that talent, and they see that we are, like they say, people like winners, and winners bringing sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, therefore people will come into the island and start scouting talent. That to me is a seller more than the other point that Cranky's trying to make about they're all Jamaicans, and they got, that does shoot down everything. But these two gentlemen, that's the point that should be sold. That as long as we have a winning team, regardless of where we get these players from, we should try and continue carrying out winning teams. So therefore, we bring in more talent, more scouts into the island that can export talent out. That to me, basically sold me on the to go against the quota system. Yeah, but my question though is that for the senior team, or would that be for the youth team also? I mean, how do you develop the youth? That's my question. When does that stop?
Same policy
To
across
the
the board.
panelists.
Same
Huh?
policy across the board. Flat.
It's the same policy across the board.
You talk with the training camp.
No, with that idea that you had about bringing in overseas Jamaicans from other parishes, you know, it, when does it stop?
Oh,
Is
with the
it from the
trials.
youth up to the senior level?
All right. It's definitely for the youth, but when it comes on to the senior team, then it becomes a bit more technical, because you can't really have a tryouts for the senior team. Is either already or you're not. Are you not? When it comes
Mm-hmm.
on to the senior team. So basically for the senior team, the coach can basically pick him straight 50 players. And then we'll have the 2 weeks training camp, and then him just pick him best 30. So we wouldn't necessarily have a tryout for the senior team, but we can have the training camp as preparation for the
Well,
upcoming tournament. But
oh,
the tryouts for the
let me
junior team.
right. Let me just say that I endorse it. I support it because like you said, if we keep having a winning team, people keep qualifying for junior World Cups up to the senior World Cup. Scouts will come into the island and they will
Mm-hmm.
basically export talent out. So I have to admit that you have me sold, and keep selling that point. That's the point that you should sell. Leave it like that. All right. Good night, gentlemen,
All right.
and I'm watching your
Uh,
program.
big
All
Yeah,
up.
right.
man. Big
Thank
up
you. Bye.
yourself.
Bye.
Who was supposed to talk? CC.
Me da make a quick point still,
All right, go ahead.
Me want CC go and get him thoughts them together. All right, so coach, one of the other thing them when we figure out what the Jamaica team a do, and that is completely wrong, is that you see every time them get a local player and then put them in a team, and the local player now go overseas, it's like that local player just dash off a map. So that definitely show me say that I sell player. So based upon recent record, if King should go overseas, when I go see King again. If Green should go overseas, when I go see Green again. And we are asked, why is that? There's so many local players that was in the team that went overseas, and that was just the end of it. Zine.
But
So
question.
me I said to them, hold on, CC, me just drop a point and there I go talk a quick one. You see me? So me I said to JFF, if it's that these players were the better players in the JPL and they were so good enough to go overseas, you feel like say when them overseas they are not good enough? I'm pretty sure that if these players were playing in JPL right now, they would have been the star. So why is it that we not use back these players again if we are promoting locals? You can't take it now, CC.
Yeah, but look at it like this, right? You ask a question why. It's just the same reason why that is just the same reason why a lot of persons might listen to my conversation and understand what I'm saying in terms of diagnosing what is the root cause of it. If you, Prince, runs a football club and you're in a federation that has the potential to pick or select the coach and select players or look at players to come into the system, what do you think is going to happen? The very same thing that you were asking why this happened. This happened because persons are affiliated, have affiliation and interest in clubs locally, and they are in position of power to have the opportunity to have their players or other players in the program. So it's not a question of why. Why would they want to bring back, for example, if a king left and got the opportunity, I am sell king already. Why would they? There's no more benefit for them to be trying to get king into the side. There's no more benefit to be had. So you don't even have to ask why. The number one reason why those things happen is because you do not have persons independent of a club and independent of the federation. There's no way. I tell people this all the while. If you're in the so for example, if you're in the petroleum business and you're working in a company that sells, if you're working at Petrojam, you cannot own a gas station. You understand? You cannot own a gas station and work at Petrojam.
So, does that happen or does that not happen?
It's not. It doesn't happen. But I'm
How you
saying to
know
you that
that? How
all right.
how you
If
know
it
that?
does, look here. If it doesn't happen from what I know, from my knowledge, with the industry and certain things, what it not happen. But if it happen, I
So,
might under the radar.
it is alleged that some politician have certain business.
But I'm saying to you that they might have it through trust or through certain things, not necessarily them directly owning it. All I'm saying is this:
And there are
it's not
some quote unquote policemen who have vehicles on the road,
taxi.
and
But
and
there's
and
no
their
but there's no law
vehicles are
stopping
not.
you. Well,
Eh?
I know if you're a policeman, there's no law that stops you from having a taxi on the road. There's no law, you know.
But what law is there to say that because I work at Petrojam, I cannot operate a gas station?
This it's Petrojam's internal thing. They would have they would have the thing that you cannot something they own if you'd have to leave the company. I'm just saying to you that there's a lot of things that, all right, for example, I'm gonna use audit because I've done audit. If I'm auditing the Bank of Jamaica, I cannot buy shares. If my company audits the Bank of Jamaica, I cannot own shares in that company. No company that you audit, you cannot own shares. If you own shares and then find out, you can get fired, plus you can get arrested.
Conflict of interest.
You can't own the shares in the company. So it's just
Self-reporting.
it's just yeah. So it's just this.
Self-reporting.
Yeah. So it's just the same as if I run a football club, and I'm in a federation. Whether or not I am in the position to pick players, I'm in the federation. And I have the respect, and I'm in a place of power. Do you not think that me just end up getting some players? And when me get my players, them are my players come in and get sold. They're not my players anymore. I got a recycling. So as you rightfully said, it should not be that way. But you not even need to ask the question why.
But
The number one thing we need to do first
it be
is to get rid of.
CC. It bemused me though, you know. Because if we are here talking about these things, is it a rule in FIFA
What in FIFA?
that you cannot be a club because first, you know, we have to find out if they are violating any rules. Is it a case where FIFA say once you're a part of a club, you can't hold any administrative post?
That's not a FIFA rule.
It is. CC, you remember the code of ethics I'm saying here? The other day I sent CC a code of ethics, but here what the thing now. I don't really want to tell them thing up on here now. But basically, the club, the same person we are talking about, him bypass it. And how him bypass it, he's the owner for the club, but on paper, he's not the owner for it. So on paper, you know, he's not doing anything wrong. But because all of we know the knowledge and all of we know say him own it, then all we know says a conflict of interest, but on paper is not a conflict of interest.
Even a 1% owner, it would be a conflict of interest.
No, not the owner, you know, the president. You can't be the president and at the same time you're part of the federation.
Okay. So you
Paper,
can be a minority
he's not
owner.
president. Yeah, you can be a minority owner because an owner is just an owner.
So
I know that.
Hold on. Let me try to get it into context. Are you saying that is it the president of JFF or the president of the club?
The president of the club. And the president of JFF can't own club in the league. Is a conflict of interest.
So what? So some minority members can do that.
Yeah, owners can do it.
No, when you say owners can do it, you're not answering my question.
Yeah, minority owners.
Minority persons in the federation, can they own a club and operate and hold a post in the federation?
No. Well, it depends on how far we go. The code of ethics is only just say the federation. It never really detail like how far down in the hierarchy you would have to be.
And that them thing there, you see me like ask it questions them we're pointing in it because you know when we there argue something where
it just say if you're a member of a federation.
Because you know why I ask the question because it jumped out at me that this is plain and straight in their federation that is a part of the FIFA body. If they're operating out of line, wouldn't FIFA come in and say, yo, this cannot work, this man cannot be there, remove him because he might operate the club there?
FIFA doesn't, to my knowledge, FIFA doesn't dig as deep into the country's federation as that.
So the question again, it is a conflict of interest because that don't negate the fact that it is, But is it violating any FIFA statute laws?
Code of
Yeah,
ethics.
code
So
of
so
ethics.
so so so
Kasafa already called him out on it though. Kasafa, they did. There's a newspaper article on it.
okay, so there are a couple things. There's a difference between a minority owner and somebody that's part. So anybody can be an owner or a minority owner for a club, right? But
Mhm.
whether you're part of the running the management, so I can own a club, but I don't have to be a president or something like that in terms of the administration of the club. So that's where the difference between a minority owner and somebody that's part of the administration is the difference. However, in Jamaica's case, a lot of the owners are actually on the administrative side of clubs.
And then coach, theme conflict of interest, it not even split two-way, it split three-way. Do you know that? It split three-way. Because you're a part of the federation, we know about the club, and then you're part of the league administration as well. It shouldn't be. It's split three-way. The conflict of interest, that's how bad it is. It's split three-way.
It's set up a way, but it's I
But
know that
look
the
at
thing.
this comment from KY. Conflicts of interest arise if officials have or appear to have private or personal interests that detract from their ability to perform their duties as officials with integrity.
But one question we should ask though, coach: do we have a fit and proper test
If you ever what?
for the federation? A fit, like for example, with the FA, there's in England they have a fit and they are subject to a fit and proper test.
Basically, a background check or a criminal record check.
Yeah, and it's just like if you
Financially too.
just like if you can't have influence in two different clubs in the country, or you can't have influence at the FA level and at the club level, because the clubs makes up the Premier League. So the 20 club is a member thing that makes up the Premier League. So you would have influence at the Premier League level in terms of all certain things, decisions are made when you're voting. But then remember that the FA, I think that is the problem with Jamaica. I think the FA sits on the board that um affects changes in the game. So changes in the laws of football, I know football is so played like the handball rule or this rule or that rule. The FA sits on that as well. So you realize that you can't be a part of the FA. Like David Gill, for example, at Manchester United. Remember that he was the CEO of Manchester United. And after Alex Ferguson stepped down, he had stepped down. He's now a part of the FA, the FA Council. And I think Paul Elliott is as well. None of them are affiliated with clubs currently, both of whom came from a club system. So I think even if the law, to me, even if it is not the law exactly don't specify saying X, I don't think it gives the right appearance of. But it is not even him only. Because based on my knowledge, the chairman of Mobile United is a part of the JFF. Because that was brought up in the Mobile versus what other case. So there's a
Coach,
lot of persons.
no, finish CC.
Yes, so
You have
there's
a
a lot of
quick point.
persons who are in the system and is affiliate because it's just like this. If me in our system or me affiliate and my company can reap a benefit from me being a part of the system, what do you think I will do?
Exactly.
It's not what you will do, but it's the idea of the perception. All if a man fear and him now go do it, the perception is there. So once the perception is there, you have to remove that person. And until that person remove, at the same way, we're going to always pick the team. It is
And that
always going to be picked in that way because individuals are there, but they are given the appearance of I'm not involved in squad picking and thing, but you're involved in pool selection. You're involved in who gets hired. You're looking at resumes for who get hired to coach the program. Every level, you have a. It's like Prince come and another person come. You are responsible for if Prince get the job for the under 20.
We make the
You get the
recommendation.
job for the under 17. If coach get the job for the senior team, and then they have other persons who are signing off on it, who involved in a club as well. So,
Coach, because more want to know for really looking at it, you know. When we there here and we see sometime that the English FA and the Premier League go at it at some time. Zine, so may I say, if you're a part of the JFF, how is it that and you are the persons that send on the recommendation, you really are gonna know say you have a club in the league and you're gonna send on a recommendation where go badly affect all the clubs, knowing that your club are gonna be part of it. And even if you're gonna send on the recommendation, the fact that you have the information at your fingertips, that give you a lot of time for draw your team out of the problem zone. So you're seeing all of the way out how it give a disadvantage to all of the rest of the team them in the Premier League. I mean, like even if you look upon the other day when them say, all right, you're gonna need some requirements to make the under 20 team. Zine, you have some whole heap of baller whenever make the requirements. But you see, because of him set the requirements, all of him players they make the requirements. Look on it. If you look the other day when you look Pierce get called up, how much cap Pierce get called up with? 1 cap. So the man deliberately play Pierce to make Pierce make the requirement. Now the other persons them where they did it, them wouldn't know say a requirement they are gonna do until the final moment. And how a young man are gonna know 2 weeks before trials say him need for hurry up and join our team for make the requirements.
yeah,
But
because look at it like
it's when
this.
me go with it.
Was Pearson at Santos? I didn't even they even want
We reach a Cavalier so fast. 1 cap about 1 week before the trials. Literally 1 week.
But my day I
1
wonder
cap.
how he get transferred.
National team.
But then me realized that they had opened but the transfer window in almost in March. So during the period of March, the transfer window was open for them transfer players. Remember, I said them tell us say the domestic.
That's correct. The
set the
JPL
transfer window and everything.
Yeah,
so
the JPL
prior to that,
adjusted.
you understand? So there is a lot of things that are happening, and then you realize you see certain players in a team. And a man I will tell you say it don't, but if you set the policy, to me, the man who set the policy, you know that the man who conspires gets more years than the man who actually do the act. The conspirator gets more time than the actual person. So the man who sets the policy has more power than the man who execute the policy.
But one of the next thing when we look onto, you know, is that if you're a coach a national team, you just coach a national team. I don't believe you should be a coach for a club on the national team.
Exactly. I wouldn't see that nowhere
Agreed.
else but Jamaica.
Agreed.
Me not think that's supposed to be happening.
Agreed.
Oh yeah, so with the coach right now.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's the coach.
He's a coach where I have respect for. But because of the system, I don't believe that the coach should be coaching a club team in the top tier and a coach a national team.
Both Paul Hall and Marcel Gale have the conflict right now.
Because you can't say you can't say if he has under 20 players, he's gonna want to take them.
There's a lot of Jojo. You see that's the problem. When name did start coach Netherlands, I think he had left his club team. Even Roberto Martinez had left his team. There's a lot of coaches who leave them team when they coach a national team. You can't. Boy, but that's the thing now in Jamaica. You realize the man them show you. If people in the federation can be affiliated with club, basically the matter is even coach can be affiliated with a club. Everybody it's mixed up. Look at it the way. Or you have a man a coach in the system and a coach at the national level as well. But guess what happened? It's long time this happen. Remember that the person who used to coach the national team, the under 20 and them team there, used to be somebody who was coaching at the something level, schoolboy football level. Remember that in a Prince? Remember I said the coach of the under 20 used to come from even schoolboy football.
But Marcel Gill, him have experience with youths, from St. George's.
No, but me I said to you,
yeah, no problem. No, that's why I say it's a coach I have respect for.
Yeah.
But it's still no believes that they should have the job.
Yeah,
as
man,
a
coach.
national coach.
Mama just add upon that. People don't get it twisted. We have whole heap of respect for these coach. We have respect for Marcel Gill, respect for Mr. Speed, and we have respect for even Pierce, even though we are calling him up on controversy. Always I say, yo, if it be fair and local players must get a chance, and basically all what we are trying to do is level in the field, because it can't be that you don't know want the overseas player them for come because local people forget a chance, but at the same time you're being people. It's supposed to be fair right across the board, and that is what we are trying to do. You see me? So we can't say it unfair over here, so, but we don't want it for work this way down here, so no. If we don't want it to be fair up there, so it have to be fair down here, so as well. We are just a level it right across the board.
The other key point, sorry to cut you, CC. The other key point, this is affecting sponsors coming to the program, because the sponsors see and know this, and the sponsors are saying, hold on. They're saying, okay, why is it not the best players or the best team being put out there? So the sponsor going to pull away.
Yeah, everybody want to put them face. Everybody want to put a winning face beside them brand.
Look on, I think, more lines. Which team in the JPL, I think, had a coach, and the coach that coach one next team. He was coaching another team in, I must say, St. Catherine here. And them are telling him, say, yo, you have to leave that job there if you have to steal that job here.
Very United had it.
Very, right?
Yeah.
So he was coaching. So the man tell him, say, directly, bro, you cannot be coaching that team and this team. But it goes to show you that our system don't set up right. Because as coach rightfully said, we have the utmost respect and we feel like you are capable of doing it. But what I want to know is this. Is it that it is much more lucrative for you to be still coaching a club team whilst coaching the national team? And why is that's why I came back to the point where I always say there should be a base salary being paid at certain levels, and then you get like to negotiate above that base based on your experience. Based on your experience or what your resume is. But there should be like a base level in terms of saying that, for example, to coach a senior team is $2.5 million then a month. That's the base level. But if you get like a man who is a World Cup, a coach who brought a team to a World Cup already, you know that he might be much more in demand. But then the minimum requirement are going to fit into the two. So I want to know, is it that if you are coach a local team, I can't tell you that you have to leave the local for this job because the local team will pay you 400,000, but the job you only pay 100,000. So it's logic, Prince. You cannot. Or you gonna ask a man for left a job, we are paying 400,000. For a job, we are paying 100,000. You have to can match the man wage, and if the man come tell us, say, "Oh, I'm not leaving this job, So I say, all right, then I will take you. You can keep that job. I'm gonna give you the 100,000 same way. What you say?" And the man say, "Oh, you mean? Because guess what? No one will turn down more money." The man say, "I can do it. I take $400 plus $100. I get 500 now." But if you say, "Oh, I'm offering you 350, we can't go up to 400. However, 350 is what is on the table, and we really see your experience and how you develop the youths and stuff, and we think that you're the best candidate to get us going forward." Maybe the person that will consider and you appeal to them, what they call it, you appeal to them patriotism. So at the end of the day, I think that is one of the biggest problems to Prince. The financial aspect of it, where I think them back up in our corner where they must say, "Oh, Them can't get the person. Remember that them offer one man 100 US a day, you know, for coach side already, you know. Which is to me a disrespect, you know. We are gonna look on a man and go tell him say a 3,000 US basically I give a month for coaching the national team. Tell me now,
Well,
Prince.
that in itself, a incompetence on their part,
Yeah,
You see me? And at the same time, is me not go tell a man fi left him big butter for come work for JFF look a bit of money, you see? Cause at the end of the day, the man have to fend for him family. You see? So me not go tell a man for do that. But at the same time, we can't blame Paul for that, Don't get it wrong. We can't blame
no, we
Paul for
don't
that.
blame him. No,
No, what you know, me just make it clear. You see?
It's just
And
the
at the,
principle, man. We not blame him, because
yeah.
of financial shortcomings and all of that. A man right now it's very difficult for a man to give up a salary.
yeah,
It doesn't matter what it might be.
difficult,
You understand?
difficult.
So it's not
But
that
me,
it's just a principle.
but I think if you watch a coach, I think depending on how you negotiate and what the offer is, what we can infer from even the offer. Two man me know for a fact. One man them a pay the man between 750 and $1 million. Another man they offered him 100 US per day. Another man tell you 3,000 US dollar a month them offer the man. So it clearly shows you that you not have no respect that the program because one man that get 50,000 US a month and then based on him resume. But I'm just saying that the job should come with a certain salary range or band. It's like there's no range or no band to say, oh, then all you got attract and keep a certain level coach. How are you going to attract and keep a certain level coach without the coach being distracted by another um job or thing, right? So all them things we have to take into consideration. And I hear this Prince all the time. When you mention money, people, oh, don't talk about money and money it come down to. Some people are gonna say, don't talk about it's not our responsibility to talk about money and it have to come back down to the salary and the money how the people might get. So the program gonna always end up like that.
Yeah, but see, as we are saying, it's incompetence on their side, isn't it? Because first of all, when them hire, when business are hiring people, right, coach, them hire what them can them hire based on what them can pay. We not see no business that hire nobody and know say them are going at the red. That no make no sense. You can't hire people where you can't pay. You see? And you say if you go hire people, I go pay them a whole heap of wage. Make sure say you have the money, can back it up. So it's not incompetence. It's incompetence on their side because of them basically should have know how much them can pay a person before them hire them. And you see furthermore, like persons will come into the federation, them not think long term. Them always a think short term and them always a try this quick fix thing. You see me? Come on, this is a football and it's a program we are run. There's no, it's not like a club where we don't have a good centre back and we just can go into the transfer market and we just can buy our centre back and problem fix. It's not a club. You see me? It's a national program and it have to run like a program. You see me? Everything what we are do, it have to be long term. If we make a decision now, it's supposed to affect we positively 5 years from now. It can't mean that it will affect we positively now and then 5 years later we are suffer fee. That no make no sense. You see me? It's a program we are run.
Yeah,
See,
man.
and coach,
Yeah.
I don't know how them people can manage to make Jamaica get some proper sponsor. Jamaica are one of the most marketable brand in the world, right across the world. You see, if you look, even Raheem Sterling sponsors make a Jamaica team. You see me? When I look Clarks, I make a Jamaica team Clarks. You see Adidas, them have them Bob Marley team jersey with Ajax. Yo, Jamaica one of the most marketable brand in the world, And you gotta tell me say we have one of the most marketable brand in the world and we can't find proper sponsors. Suppose we was a local island. Me nah this them island are still, you know. But me I say suppose we was a local island like Grenada and St. Lucia, we not that marketable. Well, all them with a run them program, the coach. Jamaica as a brand is very marketable, you know.
True.
Yo, Jamaica even marketable than USA people. Jamaica are the most marketable brand in the CONCACAF region. Let me make sure say that. You see me? If you go right across the world and you say Jamaica, everybody know Jamaica. You see me? And you see when you say like US and them thing that some people might have bad thing for say and thing. Nobody not have nothing bad for say about Jamaica. Everybody have something good for say about Jamaica. First thing, Bob Marley, Usain Bolt. Everybody have something good for say. So how is it that we can't get sponsors? We have the one of the most marketable brand in this region. Oh, Honduras them a get sponsor over we. Honduras them brand more marketable than we. Panama.
Yeah, man. Anyways, gentlemen, at midnight now, you know. You know, understand? And some people are some bad 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. You know? So we're gonna pause it. I'll pause it for tonight and come back with a different topic tomorrow. But the point I wanted to make before calls started to come in, I did a little research, calling in a few of my friends around the islands in the Caribbean and asking them if the federation has any problems with, you know, any where their players are born, as the topic suggests. And they say none of that. Doesn't matter where they are, once they show interest, they do the necessary to ensure that they represent the country. You understand? So that's the research I did in the topic, and it was a good discussion. Big up to Prince, big up to CC, big up to Dwight Spence who came on, and we respect all the persons who came on as well to give support. You know, say some deep hours a morning now in other countries, and we appreciate it. So, people, until next time, big up on yourself. It's the second night of the Weekend TripleTreat. We're going into night 3. All is good. Tomorrow we'll be back. So, big up yourself, people. Thanks very much. Stay safe. Until next time. Peace out. Yes, MPEC. We are the only set of people with that problem there. Exactly.
Location.
I go run the style and flavor. Wait. Let me find it.
Your style and your flavor make the city rock. They must say the season come out with a bang. Coach Minzy, best round here. Remember that.